Good evening, everyone. Ako po si Christian Esguerra and welcome to tonight's episode of Facts First. As always, maraming salamat po for your continuous support dito po sa ginagawa nating program. Pasensya na po kayo, medyo late po tayo nagsimula ngayong gabi dahil we encountered some technical issues, but I promise you, this is all worth the wait. No? Marami nag-aabang sa inyo dyan sa chat box. Nakikita ko, excited kayo dahil yung guest natin, gustong-gusto nyo to. Isa sa mga favorite nating mag-guest dito sa Facts First. Ang pag-uusapan po natin the first year in office of President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. So, bibigyan natin ng more or less objective assessment. Ano ba yung mga nagawa niya at hindi nagawa doon sa kanyang unang taon bilang Pangulo ng Pilipinas. Ang kasama po natin ngayong gabi, dati niyang guro. Okay? Isa pong kilalang ekonomista. I'd like to introduce to our program once again. Welcome po si Professor Solita, Ma'am Winnie Monsod. Magandang gabi po and thank you for joining us tonight on Facts First.
Magandang gabi, Christian. And then because I was not his teacher, I merely coached him for 2 days because he was trying to pass his exams at Oxford. And
Ganun na rin yun. Naging guru na rin kayo, nag-tutor kayo sa kanya. Ganun na rin yun because teaching is a very wide term. No? Anyway, sige, pag-usapan po natin to. No? Let's talk about the first year of President Marcos. Siguro let's start with the metrics. How should we measure the success or failures or inadequacies sa unang taon ng isang Pangulo?
ordinarily, in the usually, what I do is I look at the data on that is given by StatDev. StatDev is a whatever you call it. It monitors the goals, the performance of the government on the goals and targets of the Philippine Development Plan. Pero that StatDev will not come out until the second week of July in preparation for the president's from the
second SONA.
So wala pang datos na lumalabas sa Philippine Statistics Authority na StatDev. So the only thing we can do is look at what people have said. Different sectors have said because they're wanting him to do something for their sector. Halimbawa, human rights sector. Sinabi ng human rights sector na wala pa siyang nagagawa for them. He said that he promised to correct the human rights problems. He promised this to the mga ambassador who congratulated him that he could try to look at the human rights. Kasi sinabi ng Amnesty International yata o yung Philippine Human Rights Watch na wala pa siyang nagagawa to try to correct the human rights debacle that President Duterte left behind.
Okay. Sige.
For example, I'm very, very pleased.
Ma'am, medyo choppy kayo Sorry po Sorry, medyo choppy kayo. Can you speak closer to the mic po?
I will push you on the screen.
Okay. So maraming aspects kung saan siya dapat i-assess, no? So you mentioned yung human rights. Okay.
Science and technology, yung ANHAM, the organization, NGO of scientists and technologists, said wala pa siyang nagagawa because he said that he was a frustrated scientist and he was going to make sure that science and technology would be given, some priority. Pero ang nag-report sila na yung budget for science and technology this year is 25% or 24% less than its budget 2 years ago. So they're very unhappy. And I think science and technology is one very important, always left behind sector. And that's why we're talagang behind. Okay, so that's science and technology.
Okay.
Let me go first to some good news. Okay, because all I have is so far is bad news. Good news.
Mm. Sige. Ma'am, ano yung position nyo kanina, that was clear. Yung kanina, yung medyo malapit kayo. Anyway, sige, pag-usapan natin yung pinakamalapit sa sikmura, no? Pagkain, syempre. In particular, bigas, no? Kasi hindi naman to hiningi sa kanya. Siya nag-promise during the campaign na ibababa niya sa 20 pesos per kilo yung bigas. And
Pero,
obviously, hindi pa naman na-achieve yon. Pero what do you think of that?
well, he already has said na medyo he was too optimistic. We will not achieve 20 pesos per kilo. Never. Even with his Kadiwa stores, it never goes down to 20 pesos a kilo, and it will never go down to 20 pesos a kilo unless the cost of production of the farmers are reduced, and
Mm.
they have not yet been reduced. So, and the productivity of the farmers naman is increasing, but the cost of production is very high for them.
Mm.
Maybe, Christian, maybe we should not be depending on our rice farmers for rice if they cannot give us enough rice. Di ba? We
Mm.
already importing rice. Wala pa rin nangyayari. I do not know what the solution is, but certainly 20 pesos per kilo is out of the question.
Okay.
Alright?
Tinignan ko rin, based dun sa kinikwento ni President Marcos, sabi niya, medyo malapit na raw dun sa 20 pesos per kilo yung presyo ng bigas. Ang problema, 25 pesos sa Kadiwa stores. And ang tanong nga, ilan ba yung Kadiwa stores na yan? And then I heard, I saw another story na hindi naman daw subsidized yun. I mean, yun nga, i-lower the cost of production, pero I cannot imagine how can you achieve dun sa ordinaryong merkado, yung 20 pesos per kilo ng rice. Kung
They
even
can
government subsidy, could it actually make a difference, and how sustainable could that be, and how much?
muna sandali, Christian. When you talk about government subsidy, government will pay the farmer something
Correct.
like the farmer is asking for, and
Yeah.
then turn around and sell it to the consumer,
Mm-mm.
right? So,
Yes.
my God, do you know how much that will cost?
Yun
If
nga.
we're talking about, if we're talking about 5 pesos, even if 5 pesos a kilo, and how many kilos are being consumed in the Philippines a year,
Mm-mm.
it cannot be. I mean, the government will go bankrupt with that kind
Oo.
of subsidy. No, it cannot be. Hindi pwedeng gawin yun. Saka, the point is, what are they trying to do? Are they just, the subsidy situation by buying from the farmers, say, at 25 or 26 kilos, and then turning around and selling it at 20 pesos, the government is losing 6 pesos a kilo. Times, I
Yes.
don't know, 2 million or 5 million kilos, whatever. I don't recall what the per capita consumption is, but surely
Mm.
our per capita consumption of rice should be maybe 150 kilos a year. I
Mm-mm.
don't I don't I'm not sure of that. All right.
Mm-mm.
How
So malabo.
way
Oo.
to increase the price of rice to the consumers without that kind of a subsidy is for the farmers to produce more rice, you know, increase their yields or decrease their cost of production per hectare. So that's
Okay. Sige.
the muna.
Pa-
Since we are in agriculture,
yes.
may problema siya. For example, sugar. Diba?
Mm.
Ayun ang the first problem he encountered as an agriculture secretary was sugar.
Yes.
Sugar na yan, he said we're going to import sugar, etc., etc. Hindi pa bumababa ang presyo ng sugar. At
Mm.
import tayo. So the situation there is somebody has made a lot of money on
Mm.
that those sugar imports because that sugar was imported, say, at less than 80 pesos per kilo, maybe 60 pesos per kilo. And they're selling it now. It's still 85 pesos a kilo or 90
Mm.
pesos a kilo. So the importation of sugar should have decreased the prices of sugar.
Hindi
Kasi
pa rin.
pag dumadami ang supply ng sugar mo, eh syempre,
Bababa.
hindi bumaba ang presyo.
Bakit? Bakit ganon?
Eh kasi, diba, may problema yung sa pagbigay ng kontrata ng trading of sugar. He gave it
Mm.
to
Ma'am,
contractors without,
ma'am,
yeah.
oo. Kasi medyo ano talaga, medyo inaudible yung mga maraming parts na sinasabi niyo, nanghihinayang yung mga nakikinig. Can you use your laptop po ba? Para intayin namin kayo. Ilabas ko muna kayo and then you try to click it again later. Mamaya. Pasensya na po.
I sorry,
Ayan, pasensya na. Ilalabas ko po muna kayo and then you try to re-enter using a laptop. Sige, ma'am. Or baka yung headset mapagana. Wait lang po Ayan. Intayin natin si Ma'am Winnie kasi sayang yung sinasabi niya, ang ganda no? So napaka-detalyado nung binabanggit niya. Sabi nga niya, it will never go down to 20 pesos per kilo yung presyo ng bigas. Yun nga Hindi ko maintindihan bakit maraming naniniwala pa rin doon sa 20 pesos per kilo na yan And wala pa ako nakikita detalya doon sa sinasabi nila na napababa raw to 25 pesos per kilo yung bigas, presyo ng bigas sa Kadiwa stores. So I don't know how they were able to do it and how sustainable that could be. Maganda siya sa press release, no? Kasi parang may pagka-mendicancy pa rin yung attitude doon para bang papapuntahin nyo sa Kadiwa stores para doon makabili ng 25 peso per kilo rice. Diba dapat kung ang promise mo talagang drastically ibaba, doon sa merkado, yung ordinary, pagpunta mo, dapat mababa. Mataas pa rin, di ba? Kano ba? Nasa 30 plus up to 40, 45, 48, di ba? Per kilo pa rin yung presyo ng bigas. So, mahal pa rin. Tapos kanina, yung unang binabanggit ni Professor Monsod, yung human rights. Kasi nga, ganito dapat yung pagtingin natin, no? So, first year. Syempre, sa unang taon ng isang pangulo, usually nagpapasiklab yung mga pangulo, 'di ba? First year So tingnan natin ano ba yung na-achieve niya. Pero syempre, you also have to be reasonable. Hindi naman ibig sabihin na may mga hindi na natupad na pangako to sa unang taon, wala nang kwenta yung pagkapangulo. So you have to try to assess it at least more or less objectively. Ano ba talaga yung pinangako na dapat kahit papaano naramdaman na natin sa unang taon. So yun yung mga pag-uusapan natin. Yung human rights talagang masalimuot na issue. Alam ko kasi yung iba, ang talking points nila sinasabi, mas okay definitely yung human rights record daw ni President Marcos kumpara sa human rights record ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Siyempre, that comparison is relative. Kahit sino naman siguro ikumpara dun sa nangyaring patayan ng last 6 years, syempre talaga improvement yung kahit sino susunod. 'Di ba? Unless gustong higitan, no? Pero ang realidad doon, tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung mga patayan. No? Hindi naman natin sinasabi na pag nagkaroon ng anti-drug operations ng police, talagang dapat walang patay. May nangyayari pa rin. Pero yung pag-abuso na nakita natin during the past 6 years, hindi na ba nauulit yun? And of course, the other important thing that you have to consider, napapanagot po ba or pinapapanagot po ba yung mga umabuso sa kapangyarihan, yung mga pumatay na walang habas ng past 6 years under this administration? Because that's his responsibility now. He's the president. Lalo ayaw niyang papasukin yung International Criminal Court dahil sinasabi niya, gumagana naman yung justice system natin dito. Saang banda? Yun ang gusto natin malaman. Tingnan natin kung okay na po si Ma'am Winnie. Hello, ma'am. Hello po.
Yeah. I can't get it from my
Yung headset po ba, ma'am? Yung headset, kumusta?
Oh boy.
Pasensya na, ma'am.
No, I'm asking you. I'm so embarrassed
No.
because
Ganyan talaga, ma'am, nangyayari. Nagkakaroon ng technical glitches. Ayan. Kasi talagang curious kami rin sa pagtingin nyo sa unang taon ni Pangulong Marcos. Hello. Ayan. Sige. Tumayo lang si Ma'am Winnie. Tsaka ito nga, di ba? Yung presidente, siya mismo nagtalaga sa sarili niya bilang Secretary ng Department of Agriculture. Sabi ng iba, wow, bigatin. Kumaga, ang daming problema sa DA at talagang the President wanted to take on that problem himself. Yun, isang perspective yun. Ang tanong, ano po ba yung mga nagawa niya? Kasi yung mga mabigat na issues na nangyari during his first year, may kinalaman po sa agriculture, sa pagkain, di ba? Number one, yung sugar, di ba? Ang taas po ng presyo. Dahil ang sabi nila, mababa raw po yung local production. Kaya ang solusyon nila, mag-importation. Tapos diba nagkagulo pa, nagkasisihan pa rin sa Senado kung sino ba yung nag-authorize or hindi nag-authorize ba raw ng importation. Tapos yung sibuyas, di ba? Nakakaiyak po yung presyo ng sibuyas early this year. Oh. Meron kaming ginawang explainer, pinost ko po kaninang hapon. Panoorin nyo, unang taon ni mahal na Pangulong Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos. Ang ginamit namin peg parang game, computer game. 'Di ba? Computer game, meron kang characters. Ang pinili ng karamihan, 31 million daw, pinili si Bongbong Marcos. Tingnan nyo, medyo makulit yung ginawa namin. Okay, nandito na ulit si Ma'am. Hello po.
Ewan ko lang.
Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Ayan, siguro. Medyo, kumusta ba si Ma'am Winnie sa mga nanonood sa atin? Okay ba? Hello ma'am, can you speak?
I'm here talking to you, Christian. Natin.
Ayan, sige. May nag-improve ng konti. Sige. Okay, you were saying kanina, nandun na tayo sa bigas, no? Imposible na bumaba to 20 pesos per kilo. Okay. Yung sa asukal.
Christian, hindi naman posible, pero medyo matagal.
Gano'ng katagal? Kasi kung ipapababa natin yung cost of production, ang daming moving parts na, ang daming elements.
Will happen during his term.
It can or it won't?
Kung bababa ang presyo ng bigas, it is because we have imported a lot of rice and then the farmers will complain because they will be getting, because of the increasing supply, the prices will go down.
Lalamunin sila.
And the farmers will get hungry because their incomes will go down.
Yes.
They cannot compete.
Yes.
So that's it. It's always a conflict between the interest of the farmer and the interest of the consumer. And of course, consumers are more than the farmers. But then if the farmers do not produce, then we will end up importing all our rice, which may not be too bad if it becomes clear na talagang hindi pwede mag-compete ang farmers natin.
Okay. I get the question regarding priorities, no? Consumer versus farmers. Pero hindi ba natin pwedeng idikit ng konting gap? Kasi hindi naman natin pwedeng patayin yung industriya natin for the sake of lowering the price of that commodity, di ba?
Yes, the only way we can do that is to reduce the cost of production of the farmers.
Yes, so.
But, with the Ukrainian war, the price of fertilizers are up, the price of everything is up, the price of fuel is up, and the farmers, and talagang, we're caught between a rock and a hard place.
Okay. Yung sa asukal, ma'am, kasi ganito yan, di ba? Si President Marcos, he designated himself as the Agriculture Secretary. Kumbaga, sa kwentuhan niya, di ba? Ginusto nyo yan. Kayo yung nag-take on sa portfolio na yan. So naturally, nandiyan yung mabibigat na problema. How is he doing doon sa problema ng asukal?
Sinasabi ko sa iyo, the problems of the Philippines with inflation has started because the president refused to give up his job as agriculture secretary. But
talaga?
The secretary, no, really, Christian, but being agriculture secretary, full-time job yan. And ano nangyari? His best man, who I consider his best man on the job was Leocadio Sebastian. And he was fired because of the sugar
the memo.
Yes, and it was not his fault, but he was used as a scapegoat.
Yeah.
And then he was hired again. Diba? He's back now. and he is the one in charge of rice. He is not the senior undersecretary, but he is the secretary in charge of rice. And if anybody can fix our rice problem, it is that man.
Mm.
He is competent and he has good management skills, etc. But I don't know. I mean, what the dynamics are in the agriculture department. Siguro takot na takot silang mag-act because of what kung ano nangyari kay Leocadio Sebastian. He was
Mm.
fired and then he was quietly hired back because they knew that he did that. It was not his fault.
So they messed up, but they needed a scapegoat.
And meanwhile, with respect to the sugar, uh, that was with respect to the sugar. And then si Panganiban, when he came in, he's the senior undersecretary, no? He was the one that gave contracts to these three traders
Mm.
without the usual public bidding.
Oo.
Money,
Paano ba pinili yun?
I, you know, let's face it, kung tayo nagkakontrol. Because according to the traders, the money that was made on those sugar on that sugar shipment was about 12 billion pesos, none of which none of which was ever taken advantage of by any consumer because hindi bumaba ang presyo ng rice. They bought the rice so cheap and they still sold it at a high price. And so somebody made a lot of money in that. Whether it is the president or the speaker or whatever it is, 12 billion pesos is a lot of profit. Hindi ba? Now
Ah,
then, next came the onions.
yes, onions. Bakit? Sumipa ng up to 600 pesos per kilo. Grabe.
Some people said it was even up to 800 pesos per kilo. If you could get it, ang problema nun. So, he has not done a good job as agriculture secretary. And I do not know why he just will not give it up to somebody who can give it their full time and have the full authority to do what needs to be done in that place.
Ma'am,
Somebody like Fabio Sebastian.
I have a question. I want to be very, very frank dito. Yung bang problema sa DA, dahil lang ba the president cannot attend to the problem full-time? O baka naman question of competence? Hindi naman kasi porke presidente ka, pwedeng ikaw yung pinakamagaling na DA secretary, di ba? That's why you need to hire experts.
Of course. But I have interacted with the DA before. I don't know now before. And the DA has very good, very competent employees. But the problem is, yung nangyari nung sugar at there were people who were fired. That gave a signal, wrong signal. Na we better not act because baka ma-fire, maitsafuera tayo. That's the problem eh. When I think there are enough competent people in the Department of Agriculture. If they were just not so afraid of their jobs, I don't know, Christian.
Yun
It's
nga eh. That's what I'm trying to arrive at po, no? Kasi kung maraming competent people doon sa bureaucracy ng DA, presidente nasa ibabaw nila. Kung yung presidente mismo hindi naman talaga ganun ka-competent, ganun kalawak yung kaalaman sa issues ng ng agriculture, dahil nandun siya, baka naman siya pa yung nagiging problema, nakabara siya, at hindi makaporma yung talaga magagaling. That's my point. Hindi ba ganun?
Well, I think you have hit the nail right on the head, Christian, because these people they want to do something, they have to wait for approval of the president because they're afraid. They don't want, they cannot act on their own to do something fast. There's always that level of kailangan we get the approval of the president, kailangan it is in writing, kailangan ganito kasi baka mangyari sa kanila kung ano ang nangyari kay Leocadio Sebastian nung first year niya. So, it was the wrong message that was given. And then, I will grant you that something went wrong with respect to the onions because it was the Department of Agriculture who told the Filipino people that there was going to be enough onions, and they were wrong. I don't know who made that mistake, but I sincerely hope that whoever made that mistake is out of a job. Hindi ko alam.
Okay, let's make a distinction between the onion tsaka sugar problem, no? Yung sa sugar, tama ba? It's a established fact na ang problema may problema sa local production, tama ba? Yung sa onion, wala namang problema sa local production. Ang problema, hoarding. Pero ganun din yung naging problema sa sugar. Tama po ba yan?
Ang problema is that there is always a time when there is a gap between supply and demand of onions. And it is the Department of Agriculture's job to say how much that gap is and when it should be imported para smooth. Pero nagkaroon ng hearing sa Kongreso last August and sinabi napaka-confident nila, sabi nila there will be no supply problem and up to the end of December. Diyos ko, Oktubre pa lang nagkaroon na tayo ng supply problem. So that was a very bad thing.
Hindi ba ano yan? Sorry. Hindi ba predictable yan? Because you would know when the gap would take place, di ba? So that's predictable.
Of course. And kaya nga, nagkamali ang Department of Agriculture. Why they made kamali, hindi ko alam. Pero sigurado ako na they faced the Congress and told Congress they would have no problems. Up to the end of the year, they would have no problems. And of course, we had horrible shortage.
Okay. So kung lumalabas na clearly, the president could not attend to that problem full-time dahil there's so much on his plate, no? Would it be wise to appoint someone from the inside, yung talagang eksperto, and make him or her the DA secretary instead of doing, let's say, some political accommodation uli?
Sinabi ko na they should put Leocadio Sebastian as the Secretary of Agriculture. That is the man who took the blame for the sugar, but he is a thoroughly competent man, at least from his vitae. Alam mo talagang he has done this and he's been there and he's done that. He's a good man. But he should be given the authority, not just the responsibility.
Okay. O sige, eto lawakan pa natin yung problema po, no? So na-cover na natin ang bigas, asukal, sibuyas. Pag-usapan naman natin yung wider problem of poverty. Okay, may nakikita ba kayo malinaw na plano coming from the president, at least during the first year, on how he intends to address the problem of poverty? Kasi the last time I checked, no, nasa 18.1% ang poverty incidence natin. I don't know the latest figure. Oo. At tapos in-appoint niya yung napakagaling, no, si Larry Gadon, the disbarred lawyer, to be his advisor on poverty alleviation.
I don't believe it. Is it poverty alleviation?
Yun ang position eh.
No, you don't. Diyos ko, hindi ko alam yun. Kala ko parang spokesperson niya.
Hindi. Presidential advisor on poverty alleviation.
My God, that means you know what that means? That means he is absolutely letting poverty go. What does Larry Gadon know about poverty alleviation, for God's sake? He is already a disbarred lawyer. The president should never have appointed him. Ewan ko kung I don't know what is going on. Something is going on.
Ano bang in the first place, ito kasi kahapon po ang guest namin yung kagalang-galang na si Larry Gadon. And then
Why did you have him as guest? Why did you have him as guest?
Ha? ano lang, kailangan kausapin and we wanted to know kung alam niya yung trabaho and siguro ang sumagot kayo mga nanonood, no? Tinanong natin yung pagkakaintindi niya doon sa job description niya. Sabi niya, nag-iintay pa raw siya ng instructions from the president. And to be honest about it, I got the impression and I think I'm not alone in this belief. He doesn't understand the job.
Well, how? How could he understand the job if he has never dealt with poverty before? Never. I mean, why did you expect him to understand the job?
In-appoint siya, di ba? So, sabi ng Pangulo, the best and the brightest eh. So I suppose ito yung the best and the brightest.
Ikaw naman. But that is, sa akin, that is unforgivable. Because if poverty alleviation was a priority of the administration, the president would have really gotten the best and the brightest. He has got a good man in Gatchalian, the secretary this social welfare. Talagang that man is a good executive. He will do a good job. He has gotten a good man in the Bangko Central governor, the new Bangko Central governor. So that is a plus for him. But appointing Larry Gadon, for heaven's sake, as an advisor on poverty alleviation, can you imagine? He's an advisor, di ba? Tapos ang sinabi niya sa iyo, I'm waiting for instructions from the president. He should be advising the president, not waiting for instructions from the president. Talagang that is a make-do job. In other words, walang the president does not give too much importance to poverty.
But oo nga which is very unfortunate, no, dahil 'di ba yung message niya na nag-resonate during the campaign tutulungan niya yung mahihirap, no? Yun nga sige, pag-usapan po natin to. Sorry, go ahead.
Let us he thinks that he is helping the mahihirap with his Kadiwa program, his Kadiwa centers that is now called Kadiwa ng Pangulo. Before it was Kadiwa ng something, now it's Kadiwa ng Pangulo. But they have up to now, I just looked at the report, they have 300 Kadiwa, what do you call it, all over
Stores.
the country. And they have helped 3,000 farmers. Do you know how many farmers there are in the country, Christian? There
Ilan
are
po?
5 to 7 million farmers, depending on what, depending on who you ask. But there are 5 to 7 million farmers in the Philippines. And then you say, well, this Kadiwa program is 1 year old na. It has helped 3,000 farmers. When pa kaya? When pa kaya are they going to help all the farmers? 3,000 farmers in 1 year. By the time 6 years is in, maybe they'll be helping 18,000 farmers. What percentage is that of the entire farmers? Hindi ko alam ang pag-iisip ng presidente ng Pilipinas parang headlines lang ng headlines siya Oh, we have Kadiwa Center and everybody's happy. Of course, the ones who were able to buy goods from the Kadiwa Center are happy. But I have no idea what the cost of this program is and what the benefits are. I read in one I read in one press release na 1 million families have been benefited by the Kadiwa program. My God, pero hindi sila sabi nila kung anong klaseng benefits ito. Kung nakabili ang isang pamilya ng 1 kilo ng sugar na cheaper than the one in the market, benefit na yon. So 1 million of that is benefited. Naiinis ako because ang ganda-ganda na kanilang PR. But I don't know what the actual help has been. And it's not that much.
Oo nga, no? Pero ginusto yan ng majority Wala masyadong detalye during the campaign So, can we honestly expect details?
Well, when the Philippine Statistics Authority comes out with its StatDev, StatDev is their program for monitoring all the goals and targets of the Philippine Development Plan. I have been monitoring StatDev for I don't know how many years. And it's not only this president, but all the other presidents never seem to look at the StatDev. Once they say, okay na itong programa ito, itong Philippine Development Program, hindi na nila tinitingnan kung anong, whether they're doing well or they're doing badly. So you want to call me up next time, like when StatDev is out, call me
Sige,
up. I will
we'll do
say,
that. Pero dito, ang gusto ko malaman po, do you see any clear strategy on how to alleviate poverty from this president, at least during the first year? May nakikita ba kayong roadmap?
the only thing I see is that Kadiwa program, and it helps the people that they sell these products to. Definitely, but it's too little. It's too small a program. They have to. They should, you know, they should really implement it fully, but they don't have the money to do it. He does not have the time to supervise it. He needs a secretary of agriculture. And if that secretary of agriculture does not perform within 1 year, he should be kicked out. Hindi ba? We cannot kick out the president because he is secretary. If he was,
Yun ang tatanong ko sana. Sabi niyo, if he appoints a DA secretary and he doesn't perform in 1 year, kick him out. Yung DA secretary natin nakaka 1 year na Kaso he happens to be the president Should he kick himself out now?
I doubt whether he even knows that has been unsuccessful. But if only he would just, he should have a town hall. Nakukuha mo yung town hall ng CNN when the president comes and answers the question. There should be a town hall like that, and he should be asked to answer those questions, because really his record as Secretary of Agriculture is so poor. Now, what else can we report about the president? I said he has made some good appointments, and for every good appointment he makes, he has some terrible appointment like Larry Gadon. I mean, especially, I frankly did not know that it was for poverty alleviation, Christian. I would have talagang I would have screamed. I thought it was just a PR job in Malacanang. What an insult to the poor. What an insult to the poor. That the Malacanang is giving them somebody like Larry Gadon as advisor. Susko. I wonder what he can advise.
I'd like to apologize for breaking that news to you on live program. Hindi ko kayo na-prep. I didn't know. Akala ko alam nyo na. Na poverty alleviation yung portfolio.
I thought you were joking. I thought you were joking.
No. Mukha bang joke? Pero I was dead serious. Anyway, ito yung hindi masagot kahapon ni kagalang-galang Larry Gadon. Ano ba dapat yung relations ng isang advisor on poverty alleviation with the DSWD secretary, with NAPSI, with NEDA? Ano ba dapat?
Well, it is clear that this advisor on poverty alleviation, this post, is really an attempt to be sure that Larry Gadon gets some money. That is, in other words, it is a job created for the man, not the man creating for the job. They said, give him a job, or any job, as long as he gets the money. O yan. Poverty alleviation advisor.
Pero sabi kahapon, mama, for disclosure, sabi ni Mr. Gadon kahapon, mayaman daw siya. Sabi niya, he had 9 cars, meron siyang Mercedes-Benz, may isa siyang GAC 8, I think that's a Chinese SUV, marami siyang kondo, marami siyang bahay, marami siyang pera. Yeah, exact words yun. So hindi raw niya kailangan yan. Yung pag-abogado, that was in the context of his disbarment. Mas malaki rin kinikita niya as consultant kesa rin sa pag-abuga siya.
As consultant for what? Poverty alleviation?
No. Yung mga consultancy projects daw niya before nung sa mga private companies.
Oh, sus ko naman. I bet if you check that, you will, I don't know. Well,
Okay, ito. Puntahan natin, ma'am, yung priorities. Do you think the president has his priorities right? Or has had his priorities right during the first year?
so I don't think so, because what were his priorities? His priorities was to go abroad. He has gone abroad 8 times or maybe 9 times by now.
13.
Oh
13 at least.
God, 13 times in less than 12 months. What does that say to you? This man feels entitled. And then ako, inis na inis ako sa Philippine Chamber of Commerce because they said, oh, the president's trip has gotten him investors and he has gone to get investors. Talagang napakasip-sip nila. It is, you know, what investment has come in, yung talagang what money has come in that is directly attached to to those trips of his. Nothing.
Eto, ang figure na nilabas ng Malacanang, yung mga trips na yon generated 3.48 trillion in investment pledges, no? Hindi pa yung actual investments.
3.8 trillion divided by 50, that's about 600.
3.48 trillion.
3.4 divided by 50, let's say 50. 3.8 trillion pesos divided by 50, that's about $50 billion or 500 billion. 10 or 500 billion. Okay? No. $50 billion. Or
And the point is, pledges pa rin yan. Hindi pa naman siya yung actual investments, di ba?
those are pledges. You don't know when they're coming. Remember President Duterte when he went to China the first time? He said they gave us 24 billion in pledges. And how much actually came in? Less than 1% of that 24 billion. So
Hindi,
it was
sa tingin nyo, ano ba yung naging priority niya during the first year? Binanggit niya yung pagbabiyahe, although ang reason nila or siguro excuse was he's trying to gain more investors from abroad. Dahil siguro ang context niyan coming from a pandemic. Pero yun nga, yung prioritization, may nakikita ba kayo?
he has always said the right things. You know, he's going to help the farmers, he's going to help the poor. And so that is what we should judge him on. He's going, well, let's face it. He has at least stood up to China more than the President Duterte, his predecessor, did. I will give him that. He has stood up to China. But it hasn't gotten us anywhere. Has China backed down? No, China has not backed down. And so he has done the right thing in turning to the United States and at least getting some help from them. That is real help. I am not saying that that the United States is you know the best situation, but I'm saying at least ano yung saying na yon? It's better a horse we know than a horse we don't know. Diba? Alam natin yung mga sala ng
yung isang iteration niya, no? The devil you know.
the devil you know than the devil you don't know. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, so madalas tinatanong yung grade no? Kayo ba, ano ba ibibigay yung grade? Or would that be incomplete? Kasi nga, first year pa lang naman.
Some things by the first year. But you see, I cannot grade him because he never told us what to expect after the first year. Mali rin tayo eh. We should have said, all right, Mr. President, in 1 year, what do you expect the Philippines to have done? What, under you, the government would. We did not say that. What has happened is the NEDA, it prepared his program for 6 years, but it starts only in January 1, 2023. January 1, ang umpisa niyan. So parang we don't know what has happened until the stat dev of the Philippine Statistics Authority comes up in mga July 14 or July 15, lalabas na yan. And that, I will be able to grade him objectively. You know what I mean? Kasi yung rice and sugar, talagang, ayan eh, talagang definite lagpak yan. Definite lagpak because that has caused in a major way the inflation that we have experienced in the Philippines in this past year. So I will tell you very frankly that I do not want to give him a grade yet because I don't have enough information.
Ito,
I
ma'am.
grade in agriculture.
Agriculture?
Oo. 30 out of a possible 100.
30?
Yes.
Ano ba yan?
What has he done?
Okay. 30. Ano yan? Raw score?
30, out of 100. 30. I mean, it's been that bad. It's been that bad. Agriculture and it is so important. And the Philippine Development Plan knows that it is so important. They have said so. But they say, but because it is so important, then the president must be the one who is in charge. Cannot be. He left 13 times in the past year. So what kind of leadership does he give? Di ba?
Okay. Ito, ma'am, finally, pag-usapan natin yung learning curve ng isang Pangulo. In particular, President Marcos. Siyempre, hindi naman natin in-expect na yung kahit sinong presidente alam lahat, expert sa lahat ng mga kailangang gawin sa pamahalaan, no? And, but at least we should expect a certain learning curve na sana mas mabilis, no? Ano bang basa nyo rito kay President Marcos? Kasi wala naman tayong masyado nadinig during the campaign about what he intended to do. Diba? Although sinabi niya unity. Okay? Pero sa tingin nyo ba mas mabilis yung pagkakatuto niya sa mga issues or baka naman talagang hanggang ngayon hindi pa rin niya masyado naiintindihan at naka-delegate lang lahat?
Because it's not only your intelligence but your action. Mr. Marcos is not particularly intelligent, but he is also apparently, I am told, he is also quite lazy. Kasi he has a sense of entitlement eh. He grew up, in a palace and he grew up not wanting for anything. He went to Wharton School, and his father bought him a house there, and then he never had to actually work for anything in his life. In other words, if you had his curriculum vitae, Christian, if you had his curriculum vitae, you would not hire him. You would not hire him.
Grabe, bakit naman?
Look at his curriculum vitae.
Di ba Oxford daw? Oxford?
You know that he did not graduate from Oxford, and then he went to Wharton, and he did not either graduate from Wharton. And then he has had no work experience except as governor as senator and now as president. As governor, I was told that he would not he did not he was not a very assiduous governor. As senator, I heard that it was his wife who was running his office. And now as president, I don't know who's running it. They say that there's his wife, and then there's the Upsilon group, and then there's this group. They have so many factions there. Pero this is already gossip. This is not facts. I'm sorry. I've dragged you from facts to speculation. But that's
Oo.
all. That's all we have. That's all we
Mm. Okay. O sige, maraming salamat po, Ma'am Winnie. Thank you for accommodating our request for you to appear dito sa ating episode ngayong gabi. Ma'am, ulitin po natin next time aayusin na natin, mas okay na yung ating audio.
have.
Apo.
How do you summarize our discussion?
Ako, medyo frustrated ako eh.
Well, okay. Agriculture definitely failed. Science and technology, the scientists and technologists say he has not done his job. Human rights, the human rights activists say he has not done his job. Where has he done his job? The Philippine Chamber of Commerce says he trips abroad. He have garnered a lot of investments, which we know are pledges. He has made some very good appointments, and he had made some very bad appointments. So on the basis of what we know now of that particular subject, what do you think his grade should be?
Ako po mag-grade?
No, well, in three he has failed. I mean, kung ang subjects niya is agriculture, science and technology, human rights, poverty, all right, investments. Sabi ng Philippine Chamber of Commerce, nakapasa daw siya. Mukhang pasado. They're happy. But all these others, unhappiness. So obviously, if you have 5 and you have satisfied somebody in one, and you have not satisfied 4 other subjects, what is the grade that you will get?
Siguro kung ako mag-grade, ma'am, ang gagawin ko, dahil ma-impluwensya yan, di ba? Marcos yan eh. Kunwari, naka-enroll sa school namin, pag ginalaw mo yan, magre-reklamo yan, baka hindi na mag-donate sa school, papatawag ko na rin nanay. O yung anak nyo, puro palakol.
Imelda is now not anymore, because I think Imelda would have scolded him, I think. I really think his mother would have scolded him in private. Well, I'm pretty sure his father would have thrown up his hands, because this man has not worked at all. What do you expect?
At least the father was brilliant. That much we can all agree on. Pero how he used that brilliance, it's another conversation. How and where he used that brilliance.
But this boy has a very good set of communications experts that make it seem like he was always doing something. And what he's doing is going to, he's going to open a Kadiwa center. And it looks good. May picture yan sa newspaper, with people around him, etc. But that is one Kadiwa center out of 45,000 barangays. And you never know that. And he does not tell us exactly where we are right now and where we want to be. You will only get that from his Philippine Development Program, which I doubt if he has read in toto.
Ito pala, finally, no? Alam ko, natanong ko na sa inyo to before eh. Pero ngayon, di ba tinutur niyo siya before eh, para dahil nahihirapan siya sa isang subject niya. Ngayon ba, yung now having observed him for the past year as president, sa tingin nyo, does he have a clear grasp of the issues pagdating sa ekonomiya?
No, I think he would have a clear grasp of the issues if he did his homework. But he is intelligent enough to have a clear grasp of the issues. But I doubt whether he has the energy or the willingness to learn. If it is only a question of intelligence, I think he must have gotten something from his dad and or something from his mom. They're not dumb. Neither of them are dumb. But I think it is a so I think the problem must be in his, in the innate laziness because he is so used to being served. It's a pity, really. He's a charming man. He is a very charming man. Di ba?
Sige, doon natin tapusin, at least positive, no? President Marcos is a charming man. Charming man.
Intelligent.
Ha?
Yes, he has intelligence. He's just lazy. Ayon.
Sakit pa rin. Di ba? Na, sige, we'll take the good with the bad.
No, there's hope. There's hope. If he just does, if he just sets his mind to it, hindi ba? We must have hope. There is hope. Ayan. Wala kang masasabi sa akin, Christian, ha? I'm saying there is still hope.
Okay. Sige po, maraming salamat, Ma'am Winnie. Thank you for joining us tonight. Ha? Pasensya.
I'm
Buti
sorry.
na i-rouse natin. Maraming salamat po.
I'm sorry we had such problems.
Hindi, next time we will start earlier para we can fix those issues next time.
Okay.
Sige. Ma'am, maraming salamat po. Good evening. Good night po. Good night. Ayan, si Professor Winnie Monsod. Ayan. Oy, may nabuhay na troll, ah. May sumingit bago matapos. Ano ba ngayon? Katapusan ngayon. Nabayaran na ba kayo ngayon? O in advance yung payment nyo kahapon? Ito bang pantutrol nyo ngayon? Pang next payday ba yan? Tanongin nyo lang. Nga pala, nagdagdag daw ng 40 pesos ang sa minimum wage dito sa Metro Manila. So kung nag-ooperate kayo yung mga trolls dito sa Metro Manila, mag-demand kayo. May additional 40 pesos kayo per day. Ayan. Ayan, at least nairaos natin yung ating episode with the Mareng Winnie Monsod. Ang ganda ng mga sinasabi niya, no? Pero nga, at least she tried to end the conversation on a positive or hopeful note. Ayan. Kasi nga, ganun talaga no? You also have to be reasonable. You have to be frank, but you also have to be reasonable. Ano ba talaga yung mga ipinangako? Ano ba yung natupad? At ano yung mukhang mapapako? Ayan. Panoorin niyo po yung ating ginawa explainer. Nandito yan. Dito sa channel natin. Mas dinetalye po natin dun yung ating mga punto dito sa unang taon ni President Marcos. Okay? So, maraming salamat po for joining us tonight and pasensya na po sa technical glitches kanina. And at least na-raos po natin. Makita-kita po tayo uli sa Lunes dito po sa Facts First. Again, ako po si Christian Esguerra.